Welcome back to the channel, guys. The selfcontainedcreative.com, the place on the internet that tries to remove all the barriers from technology and to increase creativity in everyone. Today we are looking at creativity and how to be more creative. Now, a lot of people think that, I've spoken about this in previous videos, that creativity is something that just flows and it just happens. You sort of put yourself into this meditative state and you just let the ideas flow. Creativity only happens to that sort of person. This whole meditation thing. Now, that has its place, and yes, I'm a huge believer in meditation and the mind, but I don't just think it's for just those types of people. So you are looking to create something new, something unique. Maybe you work in the creative industries where your job is to come up with new ideas. Your job is you actually get paid by somebody who relies on your availability of ideas to create something new, which can be a huge pressure. I work in the creative industries myself. I often work with schools for songwriting sessions, and sometimes you're in a room with lots of people. You're basically doing a presentation in front of a room full of people. In my case, I'm working in a room full of children who are completely unforgiving, and if your ideas are no good, they're going to let you know about it. So I know it can be really unforgiving and can be a really high pressure environment to be relied on to come up with new ideas. Now, I'm not a religious person, but I believe that King Solomon said it best. King Solomon said, "There is nothing new under the sun." I'm told that's what he said. I wasn't actually there, but I'm told, yeah, that's what he said. So there's nothing new under the sun. Okay, so there's Henry Ford comes up with the car. His idea is to create the horseless carriage as it was at the time. So everything was like a horse-drawn carriage, and he wanted to have a carriage that could travel itself without a horse. Okay, that was new. A car was new, but the mode of transport, it's transport that was already in place. People still had a mode of transport, although it was slower, and it was the horse. So it was a new way of transport, but it wasn't a new idea. So first of all, I would just remove that pressure. Okay, so you're going to come up with a variation of something that is already in existence. If you're a songwriter, you're going to come up with a song which isn't new, but your way of saying or your way of telling a story. If the subject is love, there's millions of songs about love, but it's down to the individual interpretation. Music, for example, we've all got 12 notes to use, and it's how people use them in different variations. So the music itself isn't new, but it's creativity within that to help us come up with new imaginative ideas. So can you become more creative by using tools? And I 100% think yes. So when I'm stood there with a group of kids and we're trying to write a song about a particular subject, there are certain tools that I use in my songwriting sessions, in my workshops, that really, really help when things run dry. So things do run dry and things do run out, and you're sort of sat there, and I think you put yourself into this even worse position where not just the creative ideas are not flowing, but you're actually blocking them off. You're actually sort of sat there with this dread, sort of really putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You're trying to create something that's not coming, and it can be a really hard and also a counterproductive thing to be doing, to sort of really put pressure on yourself. So today in this video, just wanted to talk a little bit about tools and sort of little things. Maybe there's just little ways, things you can do sort of not to block creativity. So here are my 3 ways on how you can become more creative. Number 1, just start. As simple as it sounds, just start. If you're a writer, just start writing. If you're a painter, just start drawing or painting. If you're a garden designer, just start drawing. It's as simple as that, So I've spoken about this before, but as a songwriter, I follow a guy called Pat Patterson, who says it best. He says that just start. So if you have a blank page, it's like the scariest thing you can have as a songwriter, is a blank page. You've got to fill this page with lyrics and things that will relate to people, and you put all sorts of pressures on yourself. But just start, because what he says is just let the bullshit run. Just get it out on the page. And the reason he uses the term bullshit, he says, out of the best bullshit comes the best flowers. Bullshit is the best fertilizer. So just start. Start on a blank page, whatever it is. What I find is that when you start something, you have a particular idea in mind, that is when you get the chance to, you've got this idea in your head that you're trying to manifest, but it then all of a sudden when you start, it becomes something else, something better. You improve it as you go along, and you just, by just starting, you've given yourself a better opportunity to succeed. So a lot of the time we speak, our internal voice will say, you know, you can't do this, don't do this. So there's lots of different reasons why you can't do something, but if you just start, that's already gives you a better chance to succeed. This is particularly true in children. We see this all the time. I've made a video about why children are creative kings, which you can see up here somewhere. So children, they don't judge themselves, they don't talk to themselves, they don't label themselves and tell themselves they can't do something. They see something they want to achieve, and the methods of how they get there are extremely experimental. There's no clear-cut lines on how to walk. I just grab this thing and pull myself up, and then all of a sudden I put my foot forward and then I fall over, and then I try again, and I know that by what I just did, I know not what not to do. So you constantly improving and constantly giving yourself a better chance of success. You know, that's one thing that as adults we can definitely learn from children, is to become more playful with things, and we can really improve our chance of success in our creative endeavors by just being a bit more playful and taking a little bit of pressure off ourselves as grown-ups. So that takes me on to number 2. So number 2, I would say, in relation to children, is take baby steps. So recently I worked with 2 sisters who were working in property development. They'd written a book about property development, and we were working on an audio book. Now we sat there for 3 days in the studio, and we went through the book, and they read obviously thousands and thousands of words. But one thing really stuck out to me from those sessions, and the main thing was there was a line in the book which said, "Do what you can from where you are with what you have." So often we have an idea, and the idea stays in our head, sometimes weeks, months, sometimes years, and we constantly tell ourselves, I'll do that tomorrow, you know. So the one thing I say, there's plenty of time for procrastination tomorrow. But the main thing is that if you have an idea that you would like to bring to fruition, something you would like to create, I would say that the best thing you could do is set yourself some time each day, just a little bit of time to work at, just to chip away at what your idea is, and you can then build over time. You can start to see how that comes into fruition and how it moves on every day. We all know how quick time goes. Time flies. Before you know it, you've been in work and a month has gone by. There's sort of like the next payday is gone, and you're sort of like, where did that time go? Well, if you have an idea, maybe you're in a situation or you're in a job or something you're really not happy with, and you'd like to change something, you'd like to work on your own creativity, as a self-employed creative. The thing you can do that will get you there is but just take those baby steps, that little bit of time every day, just to work on your idea. So your idea is not perfect. You are working on something which ultimately, if it's in the creative industries, it's going to go out there, it's going to be judged by people. Some are going to love it, some are going to hate it, and that makes, it shouldn't make any difference to you, because actually you're the person creating, you're actually putting yourself out there as a creative, creating something which ultimately will be judged by other people. But sometimes it's a passion project you love doing, sometimes it's for work, but whatever it is, you should just keep at it, and there will be people, the people who you want to admire what you do, are the people who genuinely like it, and there will always be people who don't like what you do, but don't give them the attention. Keep all that attention, all that energy for the people who are interested in what you're doing. That's a little bit of a bonus add-on there for number 2. Number 3. Now this is a longer one, and some people will say this is a little bit fluffy, a little bit obvious, a little bit stupid really, but I honestly think that this is the most important in my 3 ways to become more creative, and that is to look after yourself. That is to take care of yourself, your mind and your body. So I always say, if you take care of yourself, your mind will take care of your ideas. So I'm talking about physical and mental health here. Obviously there's more onus on mental health these days, which is brilliant. We should all be thinking and acting and improving, or giving ourselves the best chance of having a physical and mentally healthy body. So the reason I put this in step 3 is I 100% think that your creativity is warranted by your physical and your mental health. So if you say, for example, now me, I'm a huge eater. I've got a massive, disgustingly huge appetite. And whenever anybody ever asks me for dietary requirements, all I say is just make sure it's large portions. Now that is, I love food, but that's not a great thing for creativity. And the reason is, if you are somebody who likes to eat large portions, maybe for breakfast, you decide I'm going to have a large breakfast, I don't know, 2 sausages, 2 bacon, eggs, and whatever. It tastes great, and I'll be the first one to say that, but it doesn't help. So say for example, you get to the office then, and you're working in the creative industries. By the time you get to work, your body and your mind is processing the assault you've just assaulted your body with this food, and now your body has to break that down throughout the day. Now that is inevitably going to suck energy from you. So you're sat there trying to come up with something creative, you're trying to get new ideas, maybe you're working as part of a team, or like me, you stood in front of a room full of people who are looking at you for ideas, and you're the person with the answers, which can make it impossible. So if you have got all of this food going around in your body, and your body's trying to process it, you're not going to feel like you're going to feel lethargic. You're going to feel as if you want to procrastinate, and you're going to say, oh, it's okay, I'll do that tomorrow type thing, and you're really not setting yourself into the best mindset and giving yourself the best chance of being creative in what you're trying to do. And the chances are you only get started because your mind and your body is allocated to different parts of your body, trying to break down that food, and you're not giving yourself the best chance of success there. So the second part of step 3, I would say, is the physical aspect of, again, it's the physical aspect which affects your mental health. I recently saw a quote which I think it was Joe Rogan, maybe, I might be wrong, and the quote was, exercise for your mind, not for your body. So exercise for your mental health first before your physical health, which really resonates with me. And so the second part of number 3 would be to take a walk. As simple as that sounds, just take a walk. My day starts generally around 5:30 in the morning. I'm a dad, I'm a dog owner. I like to make that conscious decision to get up in the morning, take control of my day, to get up, to get moving, to give myself the best chance of success and put myself into a good place mentally before I start work. Now this sounds really dumb, and you might be thinking, what's this got to do with creativity? But I do find that taking a walk in the morning and getting up early is the one thing that helps me the most with creativity. So when I'm out with the dog, I generally walk around 3 miles. So when I go out in the morning, I try not to take any distractions, so music distractions, social media distractions. So I will put my phone, I'll turn the data off on my phone, and I'll take my phone with me when I go for a walk, but I will try to remove any distractions, and I'll just walk. So when I'm walking, when I don't have any distractions, any music in my ears, it gives me the chance to take in what's happening around me. I can hear the birds, the plants, and as fluffy as that sounds, it all helps me personally, puts me in the best sort of frame of mind, and it puts me in a really good mood. So why wouldn't I just leave my phone at home? So when I'm out walking, it's a funny thing, but when I'm out walking and I'm taking in everything around me, I actually find that this is the most creative time of the day, and ideas just flow. And I am a huge believer in the power of the mind, particularly the subconscious mind, and how this can help with creativity. And I do find that when I'm out early in the morning, I'm generating the best ideas, I'm solving problems, I'm generating solutions to things, and it's just without any effort, I am subconsciously becoming more creative and I'm in a good space. So it's really important for me to take my phone with me for that reason. So often as creative people, what we do is we are going to sleep at night and we sort of in this relaxed state, and ideas will come to us. And a lot of the times we'll sit up thinking for an hour or so about these ideas and we can't actually drop off to sleep. That's also the reason I keep a notepad by the bed, is just because these ideas do flow. You never know when it's going to happen, so it's always good to use the Notes app on your phone or notepad by the bed for when these things do happen. I mean, if you wait for them and you try to make them happen, then it's a different thing entirely, so it doesn't really sort of have the desired effect. So you give yourself the best chance of having those ideas and creative thoughts. I do anyway, by getting up, getting going in the morning and using that time to just be completely in the moment, as fluffy as it sounds, just allowing the ideas to flow, and then I'm taking those ideas down. We often tell ourselves we'll remember these ideas, but 9 times out of 10, 2 hours on, something's happened. I've dropped the kids off to school, I'm getting to work, and then it's like, oh, that idea, or what was it again? Or maybe it's sort of just a remnant of the idea you had and it's not quite the full thing. So it's always good to have a notepad app or a notepad to get those ideas down. So that's my 3 ways to be more creative. I think the most important step for me is number 3, to eat well, exercise and relax, which is sort of my morning walk is relaxation for me, and it's the exercise as well. So I think those things are going to help you with creativity. If you have any other ideas as a creative person or as somebody who's not creative or trying to become more creative, if you have ideas of what helps you, maybe you have got your own ideas or your own rituals about what helps you to become creative or put yourself in a creative state of mind, I want to know about them. So leave them down below in the comments, and we can just get a conversation going in the comments, because I would like this channel to be a place where we can all discuss ideas, help each other, because at the end of the day, if you are working in the creative industries or you're trying to become more creative, having like-minded people in an environment, a community that you can sort of rely on and talk to about ideas, I think that's the main purpose of this channel, is to sort of help each other and to increase creativity in people, because it is inside all of us. So thank you so much again for joining me today. If you would like to have some resources to go along with this video, I've got a PDF version of this on my website, www.theselfcontainedcreative.com, and you'll find that in the resources section. I'll also put the description down below, and I will see you on the next video. That's it. So yeah, until then, stay tuned, stay subscribed, and stay creative.